Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video from Wtf Rc Cars. So carrying on with the quick vids for the NB4 Pro Plus. On this one we're going to look at setting the endpoints. So we've got it all bound up, but as you see, when we get right to the extreme, it's just trying to turn a little bit too far. So on this one, make sure you've set your servo direction correctly first. And if you look on here, we've got steering, we've got throttle and brake. Throttle and brake, I would always make sure it's set to 100, then calibrate your ESC. You're going to be jumping into your ESC settings to change your maximum brake. What you can do is have the endpoint set at 100, and then you can use 100% brake on your ESC, and then you could jump in here and use dual rates, not endpoints, to bring that down. Or you could bring down the endpoint to just not give you as much braking. Something else you can do. But steering, especially if you're setting up a race RC, so either a touring car or a race buggy, I would use the actual gauges to make sure you're getting the same turn either way. But rather than put all my setup station up, I'm just going to show you the basics of it. So we can see it slightly overturning when we're going this way. So all I would do is back this down so you're not getting any stress on the servo. And it doesn't look like it's trying to oversteer in that direction. We're still getting movement all the way up to 100%. So these numbers don't need to be exactly the same. What you can do, if you find that, like on this, you've got 100 one way and 90 the other, what you can then do is offset your steering. So what you could do on this now, you could adjust your steering links to get them both to 90 or both to 100 to make sure you're getting the same amount of travel each way. It's a good way of balancing it up. More importantly, on a touring car, you don't really have that much lock, or you don't run that much lock to lock. So you'd probably set it up for a certain number of degrees either way, and then you'll bring your endpoints down so that maximum point of turning is exactly correct on both sides. But as you see, when we switch from side to side, if you want to duck right, you can either turn right, or if you want to duck left, if you turn left, it'll jump to it, or you can actually press it on screen, and then you use the plus and minus to bring them up and down. So if we turn right, and I start bringing this down, you'll see it'll start to limit the amount of travel in that direction. And you can go all the way up to 120. Not all RCs will be the same, and you really do need your actual gauges on here, your setup station, to see if 90 is in fact the same amount of degrees turning either way. Does vary on RC to RC. Some it'll be exactly the same. Some you'll be able to go 90 on one, 100 on other side, or 72, 70. Really depends on the actual RC and the geometry of the steering. But yeah, that's your endpoint adjustments. Nice and easy to set up. As a rule, you'd only have to set them once on your RC and then they're done. And if you wanted to go on throttle and you wanted to reduce the braking down to 50% or the throttle down to 50, you could do that, and then you're only going to get 50% throttle. Not the ideal way of doing it. If you go above 100, it generally won't give you any more. But as you see, it's a way you can reduce the amount of braking permanently without using dual rate. So you could have your ESC set to 100% brake, but you can bring your endpoint down and give you only 60, and you can click that and it'll reset everything if you've severely messed it up and you're not really sure. But it's a good way to set up your steering, mainly because you don't want to overwork your servo. But if you have a setup station, you can work out the exact percent of or degree of steering on each side, and then you can dial that in so you know full lock is only giving you X number of degrees either way, and you know you've got the steering the same both sides. But that's just a quick vid on the endpoint adjustments. So thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Hopefully you find this useful, entertaining, or just like listening to my incessant ramblings. But don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and catch you guys again in the next one.